Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hi, Ayakami. How you doing? Hey, Nazil. Nazil, how you doing? Ayub, good morning. Hope you're all well. Let me know if you can hear me okay, can see me all right. Hope you've been good morning, Pips Apprentice. How are you doing? All good. Hope you've been, hope the FOMC last night didn't treat you too badly. I stayed up, I watched it bounce around, I saw the dollar index drop, and I just thought, yeah, not for me tonight. So didn't I watched the whole thing move but didn't get into any trades. Thanks for that, Ayakami. Okay, so quick risk disclaimer. This live market analysis is sponsored by Max Global Markets, a brokerage firm that is registered with and regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the MAS. Max Global Markets has no control over or influence over the content of this analysis, which is generated by an independent party, myself. So please remember that the information in this analysis is offered solely for educational and informational reasons and does not constitute financial advice. Before you jump into any trades, please make sure you check your trade size, your leverage, your margin. Make sure that the trade fits with your own trading analysis. At stop loss levels, take profit levels before you get into any trades. What is this? Now let me get rid of that. Okay. With that said, let's move on. Okay, so what we had this early this morning was the FOMC press or the Fed Reserve, Fed funds rate, the Fed FOMC statement, and the press conference early this morning. All right, so basically the US Fed Reserve held rates at 5.5%, pretty much as expected. We all knew that. We saw the CME Fed Watch tool almost 100% towards holding it 5.5%. What did catch us a little bit by surprise was during the press conference, right? So you can see here that during the news, this is this dotted line here. On release of the news, we actually did see the dollar index push up a little bit, come back down. It didn't do too much didn't do too much right after the news release. It was during the press conference at 3, right? Which was this one, 2:30 to 3, during the press conference, that we actually saw the dollar index weaken back down. Why did it weaken back down? It's really because of what Chair Powell was conveying, the message that Chair Powell was conveying. In main things is that they have come very close. The Fed Reserve have come very far with this rate hike cycle and are close to the end of the cycle, right? Close to the end of the cycle. There's no thinking around changing the pace of the runoff. Reserve are scarce when they're at 3.3 trillion. And also that wages are not the principal driver. Where was the other line? Maybe underestimated. And from PIMCO, we can see that the main message they saw was that the Fed's patience comes as they look in the tightening of the markets. Officials can be patient given the restrictive stance of monetary policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation. Okay, commonly they would say data dependence, but now they're saying that they can be patient given the restrictive stance of monetary policy. So what this means is that there seems to be a more or an increasing likelihood or increasing view and sentiment that the Feds are more likely to keep rates on hold. More likely to keep rates on hold. They were on a path to make more progress on inflation. Right, where was the other thing that I saw just then? Where was it? Question we're asking is, should we hike more? They're not going to hike more. Did not put recession back onto their forecast. So no recession. Not confident we've reached a stance. Restrictive stance of policy is putting downward pressure on inflation. So they're actually showing like, hey, it's working. The previous moves is working. So that we're seeing inflation on that path, but it's going to be a bumpy path. It's not a straight line down to that 2 to 3%. There is also concern on whether they'll hit to the 3. And that's why we see the dollar drop, all right, reverse from that 107 level, failed to break above 107 and reverse back down, now sitting along that 106.35 level. Right, so reverse and sitting there right now for today. It's been a super relatively boring day. Right, dollar index dropped and sat right there. Little fluctuations. There is a little bit of a gap. Someone in the Discord group was talking about this. There is a gap here on the dollar index. I don't think that we'll see it retrace to close the gap. It looks like we might see it consolidate before pushing lower again. Okay, let's see what other levels we have here. Right, so we saw the gap here, and I think it's probably sitting at 61.8. Yeah, so dollar index on this big move is sitting on 61.8 at this point in time. With that, then what else we have for today? Hey Jimmy, how you doing? Hey Goju, hey YJ. Hope you're all well. Right, at 3:30 we have the Swiss CPI number. Not too keen on that. Was a minus 0.1%, expected a 0.1. So I think we might see that come out at 0.1. Might see some strength continue on the Swiss franc. Might see that drop a bit lower. Let me take all these away. And then a whole bunch of PMI numbers to be released for the Eurozone. Spanish, Italian, French, German manufacturing PMI numbers to be released. I think all that is going to be interesting, right? I don't think we're going to see big changes. We might see more slowdown in manufacturing PMIs, but the main thing will be tonight, 8 p.m. GMT plus 8, with the Bank of England, the BOE, Bank of England's monetary policy report and their bank rates decision. Most likely going to hold at 5.25%. But the voting seems to be, they're anticipating a change, right? So what happened the last time round was that they were looking at they were at 5.25. There was an expectation. This was on the 21st of September. There was an expectation for it to increase to 5.5, but the Bank of England held at 5.25. So what happened in that scenario? We actually saw it go from 801, which means 8%. You can see here, 8% voted to increase, decrease, nobody voted to decrease, and this one voted to hold, right? By change to 405. 405 meaning the first number was number of people voting to increase rates. Only 4 out of 9 voted to increase rates. Second vote, how many voted to decrease? No one voted to decrease. And in this case, the third was how many voted to hold. 5 voted to hold. That's why they held it at 5.25 the last time round. This month, what it looks like is we're looking at maybe 2 members likely to vote to increase rates, with 7 members likely to vote to keep rates on hold at 5.25%. Okay, so we're looking, it's not so much this number that we're paying attention to for the Bank of England's rates decision, it's this number that we're paying attention to, because that's going to give you the sentiment of what's happening in or within the Bank of England. So we'll pay attention to that. Hey David, how you doing? Hey Jack, good to see you. Hey Booba. So with this, I think that learning from what we saw on the FOMC early this morning, late last night, early this morning, if they do keep it on hold, it looks like we might see some weakness on the pound dollar, especially if Governor Bailey at 8:30 speaks and does sound a little bit more dovish, similar, not dovish, I don't think it was dovish, more lack of a, it's not dovish, but lack of a hawkish comment, or lack of a hawkish sentiment, indicating that they might have done enough, they're going to give it more time, they're restrictive enough, they're going to let it run. We might see the pound dollar drop. Okay, so that's what I'm looking out for today. I'm not doing any, I haven't done anything at all through the day. I'm just waiting for this news to be released. And then for tomorrow, we have the non-farm payrolls to be released. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Okay, so now with that said, this might be a short and sharp session, but let's have a look. That didn't push up as high as we expected. Now it's consolidating at this point. This is the dollar index. That 61.8 from that move is still valid. I'm just thinking that, see that we were talking about this on the pound dollar, right? Take that one away because that's out. But we're talking about this for it to go up, test that resistance and push down. If the pound dollar does push down because of the Bank of England's rate decision, then we might see this push up. However, I'm looking at this as, that consolidation. Oops. And then we might, I'm looking for it to push down again. I think it's gonna, well, for sure we're gonna see it 2nd November. We're going to see it consolidate along 106.35. Okay, at this current level, I want to see it do this actually. I think it's going to consolidate here and then push down to 106. Okay, 106.35 could break out lower to 106. Right, so I'm looking for this move. What do you guys think? Let me know. What do you think? Sounds about right, or do you think it's going to push up? Hey, Kalinzi, how you doing? I think that the dollar still has a little more to give towards the end of the year. We might even see a rate hike in December. Just wow, okay. So I've got The Leon Joan, who's saying that dollar still has a little bit more to give towards the end of the year, might even see a rate hike in December. If we do see a rate, not ruling it out, not ruling that possibility out, but if we do see a rate hike in December, then I think it's going to be, they're not going to be very popular. Typically, we don't normally see, unless it's in dire states, but we don't normally see rate hikes in December. But we'll watch out for that. We are heading into that period. First must do to close the gap. Okay, so Spiros is saying that it looks like it might do that, bounce up a little bit before turning back down. I will get to that. Kalinzi. Hey Ismet, how you doing? Okay, so we might look at that, but I think it's going to sit there and push down before pushing back up again. I think it's going to stay within this range. So it might take a little bit longer to close that gap. Might even be a non-farm payroll data release that could lead to that close of the gap. Okay. USDM, we have equal high, double top on weekly. Okay, we'll have a look at that shortly. So I think I'll keep that view on the dollar. Then looking at the Kiwi, so we're thinking that we might see a little bit of a maybe a bit of an upside, but generally a downside move on the dollar. So weakness on the dollar, I don't think this is going to push down. That resistance turned support now is looking like it's pushing back up. If we look at this, because we're expecting that dollar weakness above 5.9, it's quite close. We have a 30 pip move there. Okay, we're looking at this. Quarter to good? What do you mean by quarter to good? We're looking at a move like that. This one I like right across as well. So I like that resistance at 5930. I think this would be a tight move here, 35 pips. Stop loss no more than 20. I actually think that it might do this. So I think, looking at this might push up a little bit before turning down. Okay, could break out to a close gap, then lower to 106. I think it's going to do that. With that, we're going to see the Kiwi dollar do that. Then we could be looking at a position 5880, take profit 50 pips, stop loss no more than 20. Okay, so because of that dollar weakness, we're looking to buy 0.5880, stop loss 20, take profit 50 pips. Right, our trade from yesterday, our setup from yesterday did not trigger. So we'll look for this as the next trade. It feels like it's a Friday. To me, it feels like it's a Friday. I think I just had a super long day watching the charts yesterday, but I just kept thinking it's a Friday. Then onto the Aussie dollar, again, that did not trigger. It shot up. Let it do whatever it does. It might retrace a little bit, but we are looking for it to push up. I think this one we can take away. right? So on that dollar weakness scenario, likely to consolidate here before pushing higher. We got our previous swing high there, so looking for 6450, 45 pip take profit, 20 pip stop loss. Right, continuation of the trend. I'm just looking for that continuation. We want to see the dollar weaken. We will come with scenarios where we have dollar strength as well, because I think at this point it's right in the middle, so it's worth planning for both scenarios. So we'll do that. 6450, 45 to 20. We're looking to buy 0.6450, stop loss 20, take profit 45. Those are dollar weakness scenarios. Then onto the yen. Has it done? What do you all think? Put it into the chat. Let me know. What do you think? Did the FOMC do the job for the Bank of Japan already? Is the job done? Or is there more to come? Because we didn't see that upward push because of the dollar weakness, right? It broke out the consolidation to the downside below 151. It even came below 150.50. It's currently at 150.42. What do you think? Is it job done for the Bank of Japan, or do you think we're going to see something come around or continue to come around? We're back at the level that we saw on the 26th of October, where we saw a big spike down. And the last time it came to almost 150, we saw that big spike down. What do you all think? Is it done? Is the Bank of Japan saying thanks, FOMC? Or do you think there's more intervention to come? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, so that one came to that 50% level, right? And it's bounced off 50, slightly bounced off 50, and sitting just at 150.40 level there. Intervention move, I expect a big spike down, so I guess more to come. Thanks for that, Ayakami. $150 has 61.8 right there as well. Okay, I'll take these away. I'll consider that. So I think what we'll be looking for is anticipating that there might still be further downside, right? A deeper correction on the yen, but not really yet. What you could be looking out for is below 150, below that 61.8, so 149.85. That was what we've been looking at from a very long time ago. Your stop loss can be tight at 30 pips. Your take profit could go all the way down to 100 or even 150 to the downside. That's what I would be considering, factoring in the potential for a intervention, or chance of an intervention. If it breaks below 150 and breaks below that 61.8 level. If it sits right there, then I think it's going to come back up and test for another level again. I think Spiros was saying that on the weekly time frame, you're seeing a double top. Yes, I see that too. Um, and then you have that as well. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, so I see that, but it does need to break below, it does need to break quite a bit more before we're going to see a big, actually it needs to go below 147. It needs to go below 147 before we're going to see that big spike or the continuation down. I don't think we'll see that in a rush. I would love to. I would love to trade that down similar here, but might not happen too soon. Okay, so that's what I would be looking out for on the US yen. Alternatively, you can also be looking to buy it up 150.60, stop loss quite wide. The safer one will be at 40 pips. Take profit, you can go up to 80 pips or even 110. Okay, but I'm just going to highlight the possible intervention here or intervention levels here. So 149.85, 30 to 150. Okay, there we go. We're looking to sell 149.85. Stop loss 30. Was it 30? Yes, at 150. Take profit 150. Watch out for possible intervention. 151 plus, I mean, towards 152. Just yeah, it's quite possible. It's quite possible it's going to sit there. So Joan 711 said it's like could push back higher to 151, around that 151, 152 level. So I think that we might see that consolidate and then push back up again around that level. Maybe form a double top before we see that intervention come back into play. I think that's very possible as well. Um, Main driver for that would have to depend on what this guy is going to do, right? If this pushes all the way back up, then yeah, for sure. But if it pushes down, I think that's going to lead to some downward pressure on the US yen. Okay. Then onto the pound dollar. I think this one is actually going to work out quite nicely, right? So we were talking about this yesterday. It did spike down before bouncing back up, but we're looking to see it hit that level and push down, right? We were talking about possible downside because of the Bank of England keeping rates on hold, maybe not sounding as hawkish, no dovish tone, but not sounding as hawkish. Um, Take that away, I don't see how this would. If we really had to, it would be there. There's a bit of a double top there as well on the pound dollar, right? Failing to break above that 61.8 level there. So it could still be, I'm still looking for the downside on the pound dollar because of the Bank of England news or coming news, right? And then you see that 23.6 is right there, so it needs to break 23.6 to head lower. 8 o'clock, not too far away. Can be looking at about 1.2165, 1.2170. Nah, 65 a little bit further away. Take profit down here about 50 pips. Stop loss. Best if you can put it there, 51 to 1. You can also do it at about 30 pips. Okay. If this retraces back, then yeah, you just have to shift that up some more and then drag it down. So I think that would still work. We see that tracking a bit lower now. I think it would be fair to look for that. 1.2190, and then a tight one at 20 pip, and then a 80 pip move to the downside. So we're looking for that to happen. Okay, I want to see that. So 1.2190, 20 to 80. Sell 1.2190, stop loss 20, take profit 80. This is on BOE rate decision. Okay. Yep, I can look at silver. Just hang on there. Let me get through the list and we'll get to silver as well after gold. Euro dollar bouncing right back up. Okay, so most likely you're going to see that these news coming out might push the euro dollar a little bit lower. I don't see why is it going up, because German manufacturing PMI staying at 40.7, French 42.6, Italian 46.3, 46.8 previously, looking at a bit of a slowdown. Eurozone manufacturing PMI staying at 43 in that contractionary phase. Don't know why it's pushing up. So I'm looking at this and I'm actually thinking that $61.8 is there. It's pushing up, and that's what's leading this dollar index to push down. So what I'm looking for in this case, I don't even want this level anymore because it's broken that so easily. So we take that away. But if it can break above this 61.8 here and that level, we might actually see this continue up, continue to push up. So you can be looking for 1063, a good 50 pip move to the upside, 20 pip stop loss, right? Dollar weakness to push this up, or euro strength or dollar weakness to push this up, and then we could see this continue 10630, 20 to 50. So we have our different scenarios there. So we're looking to buy 1.0630, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the upside. Okay. Yep. All right. Then on to the US Swiss franc. That was our alternate scenario where we said, hey, what if the dollar does weaken? It actually did that. So I did get into this trade. I don't trade the Swiss franc. I do analyze it, but I don't trade it. So it sat in that consolidation as entirely expected and broke down. Perfect. And if anyone got onto this trade, put into the chat and let me know. But at this current level of 0.9040, I would say that anticipating more downside on the dollar index will probably be safe to anticipate again more downside on the Sweezy. So if it can break below, no, actually, I'll still maintain this level here because of the round number at 0.9. All right, so wait for it. If it can break below 0.9, then we could be looking at 8985, Stop loss 25. Take profit 90 pips. I don't think it'll go all the way down. I don't think it'll go all the way 90, but you can set that and you can consider maybe about that point. So 20 to 40 or 90. Okay, so 8985, 25 to 90, and then we got some hesitations. Dollar index is dropping already, so it's 8, 9, 8, 5, 25 to 90. 8, 9, 8, 5. Stop loss 25. Take profit 90. Okay, look at that. Look at that. So my initial view was right. Maybe we're going to see that breakout and push down. Okay. Ludi pushing down. It's sitting right at this level. It needs to... That dollar weakness could push it lower. No CAD news tonight. We have that high there. It needs to go past this point. Yeah, it needs to go past this point. Okay. So US CAD anticipating that dollar weakness again. 1.3810. Stop loss 35. Take profit down here. This level here. 76. I'm looking at this level here. Okay, so 35 to 75. There we go. US CAD, we're looking to sell 1.3810, 35 to 75. 1.3810, stop loss 35, take profit 75. Okay. Then, today's session is really short. Okay, but that's fine. Not a lot to talk about today. The main thing is the pound dollar. Gold found support at 1972 before bouncing back up. Dollar weakness is going to lead this to push higher. So I'm anticipating that it's going to sit there. But only above 1992 could we see 2008. 1985, 1986. You can do a very quick short-term trade. You can do that from this level here up. Right, and then as it breaks past that point, you go to the next level up again. So 1988 to 1992, dollar index Spirit is saying is dropping. Yes. 1988 and 1988 to 1992, then 1992 to 1994 needs to break above 1994 to 2007. 1994 to 2007. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So it's not ready yet. There is 20 minutes to the hour close, so try to come down a little bit. It's just bouncing around there. Just takes time to develop that break. And then on silver, almost like a replica of gold, almost. Clear all that out first. We do have our bottom level here as a bit of a support. And then the big top here as a resistance. Hey guys, remember, if you can help me out, click that like and subscribe button, whether you're on YouTube or on TradingView. Your click does matter. Every click matters. So do help me out. Make sure you click a thumbs up or the rocket ship button. So that's the high, that's the previous level there that's being held, which is also that 50% level. So we're looking at this. If it breaks above 2310, 23.10, then we could see it climb back up towards, I wouldn't say there, I would say there. Towards this point there, 2330, and then 2346 or 2350. Okay, Jones 711. That's the view on silver. Needs to break above this. Needs to break above this area first. Then we could see that push up towards 2330. And if it breaks that, then up towards 2350. Okay, short and sharp. Dollar index is still sitting there, not a lot to update on. We will have a look at what's going to happen on the bank from the Bank of England rate decision later at 8 p.m. GMT plus 8. Anything looks interesting, I will update you guys on Discord. The link is there again for you to join if you haven't already. Please do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button. And trade well, trade safe. I'll see you on Discord. If not, I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care now. Bye-bye.